So, thanks to Lear 3003, we're going to be looking at weapon animations. They asked, what do you do to change the attack animation of an item? So, basically, what you need to do to change your attack animation of an item is to load it up in Blender, change animation sequence, export it, put it into Unreal Engine, and then export it as a mod for the game. Sounds simple? So, let's see how it goes. So first things first, you're going to need a few things. Like always, you're going to need Blender, you're going to need the import script, you're going to need the mod kit master, you're going to need a copy of Dungeons, you're going to need that unpacked using UModel, I think I used, and then we can get on and load everything into Blender. So I've already made this folder on my desktop called Weapon Animation because we're going to be looking at weapon animation. And the stuff that I've put in here is the Dungeons Mod Kit Master, the exports, and the tools. So the exports are everything from UModel that I've exported out of the game, so we can gain access to it. And then under the tools is Fmodel. Now we need to decide what weapon we're going to do. I've already sort of decided in my head a simple one that everyone knows, and that would be the sword. So I'm just making a new folder up there called the sword just for later on, and then we need to load up Fmodel. Now if you're not familiar with Fmodel, there's a video I've done on Fmodel. I'll give you a brief overview of it. Go check it out and then come back and start from here. So anyway, we need to select the packs. So we're loading these packs up. Here's all the packs here, and it shows you dungeons. I'm going to go straight to the sword because that's what we have decided. So actors, equipment, melee weapons, and then all the way down here it's called sword still. So we have a look in here, and then animations, double click it and it will load through to the assets, and then we have got 4 assets in here. Now these ones here, these 3, these are composites, so they take reference from the main animation. So this is where things like the effects and the particles come into play. We're not going to be playing with that, it's a bit more advanced, but what we're going to need to do and ascertain from this file or any one of these is where it draws the animation actually from, because even though it's got this one in here which would suggest it's the main one, it might not be, and you might be doing the wrong one. So by looking at the composite, you can actually see where it draws the actual animation from, and we can see this in the first instance here, that this one here draws it from, so you got animation reference, animation track, it's the animation sequence, so the composite draws from the sequence, and this draws it from the dungeons, content, actors, characters, players, masters, animation, player, master, sword combo. So that's the one that we need to edit, the player, master, sword combo. Now you may see it here, but it's not in the right path. We need to go to characters, player, master, animations. Now it seems that every weapon item is probably different depending when it was made and who made it, but we'll have a look at another one now just to see what this one says. So we've got the attack spin for the axe. This one says here, so we're looking for the animation sequence. This one says it actually is melee weapons, axe, animations, player, master, axe combo. So if you were doing the axe, you would actually get the animation from here, which is slightly different than the sword. So we're going to go back to where we were, which was underneath the sword still, which is down here under animations, and confirm where we need to go. So I'm just going to copy this out here, and I'm going to go put it into a notepad just for later on. So I've got it here. So we need to go and find this within our exported content. So what we can do, let's see, I don't know if we can do that, but anyway, exports, UModel, game, and then it's under actors, characters, player, master, animations, and this is all the master animation. You can see there's quite a lot in here, not all of them are in there. Like you've got walks, you've got swim dash, you've got stun, staff pose, show off still. You've got lots of different animations in here, ragdoll, corrupt seeds, so some are here, some aren't. Anyway, we need to get this animation into Blender now. So what we're going to do is load up Blender. So once your Blender is loaded up, you'll have the default scene. Just hit A and then delete to remove all the entities within it. Then we need to now import the player master mesh. So what we need to do is go File, Import, and then PSK down here, skeleton mesh PSK. If you haven't got this, I've got a tutorial somewhere, I believe I'll link it in the description, how to set up the script for this, but hopefully you've already got that installed and you can click this. It'll then load up with your file system and then go and navigate to where you've exported all the dungeon's content to. So ours is, or mine is, on desktop. Weapon animation, exports, UModel, version, game. Then we need to go actors, we need to go characters, player, master, and then when we're in the master we've got the SK player master. Now this is the main mesh or main skeleton for everything that generally is used to hit or to run, to walk, to be idle. It's what your man's doing when you send commands or try and tell it to hit things. This is the what it uses. So I'm going to uncheck scale down because I don't like to scale it down, and then I'm going to go import PSK. So once it's imported, it's rather large. You can see it here. It looks like the Minecraft player. It looks all good. There's no textures on it. I wouldn't worry about that. We're not worried about textures. We're just solely after the animations. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go File, Import, and then we're going to go right down the bottom, Skeleton Anim PSA. Click on that. Then we can head back over down here, recent, because we've just been in the masters folder and we figured out through Fmodel that it was pretty much here. It's just one folder more under animations. So we double click animations and now we're looking for a player master sword combo. So I'm going to sort by name and then hopefully it should be down here. If we go down, we're looking for S and it is here. So player master sword combo. Not going to worry about this. Sometimes it does muck up if you don't do rotation only, so just bear that in mind. So we're going to go ahead and import this now. So import PSA. Once we've imported it, we can see that our man has taken the stance. It's completely different now. The animation is rigged to the actual model. So we're just going to push this up. So me and Blender haven't really learned each other. I know little bits and pieces and things to do in it. I can work my way around it and stuff. So some stuff that I do may be different to how you do it, or whatever. You may have a better understanding than I do, but we get there in the end. And as long as we get the same result, we're not going to worry. So anyway, this is the keyframe animation here. You can see it's doing its things and it has 3 different animations. Now for the purpose of this, I'm not worried about what it does or if it looks good. I'm just going to show you how we can get our custom animations into the game. So with this, I'm going to go muck around and have a play. So the first step to do is figure out where and what animation goes with what, because remember this is a 3-hit combo that it uses, and then in the game it uses the composite to split them up. So we want to roughly get them in the same place. So we can guess here, because of the quick change, that this is where one animation stops and one starts. It's not very fluid, but it is what it is. So we want to go from 14 to 0 to start off with. So 14's here, 0's here. So I am just, because I've got everything highlighted, I haven't changed or done anything. I'm literally going to highlight them, and you can see that they've changed color here. I'm going to hit delete. That means I've deleted all the keyframes in between here. It's still rotating, but that's not really an issue. So now I'm going to select the one on the 0. I'm going to hit Control C, bring this over to the 14 and hit Control V. It then pastes it and you can see the nice line appears. That means everything's linear as far as I know. Someone may be able to hit me out in the comments what it actually means, but I know it means there is no changes between these 2 keyframes. So the next one here starts here, and then we've got to try and guess where it finishes again. So this one's a bit more fluid. You can see here he brings his arm round and then he gets ready for the next jab, the little poke or whatever you want to call it. So this one's quite a short one because he goes from here round to here. So I'm going to cut this one just before he brings it back. So 27 I'm going to cut that from. So I'm going to go from here to here, delete them. So we've got these 2 little bits here, and then this one here. I'm going to do the same again on this to here. Actually, I think it was, no, 26 is fine. So you can see that they're the same, and then we've got this one here which is also the same. So this is where he sort of hits it halfway through this animation, and then he's back to here. So I'm going to go from here to here, I think, at the moment. Oh, and delete that one. So that's where he stops, that's where he draws it back. And then I'm just going to copy this one. Like I said, I'm just mucking around and showing you little bits and pieces. So there should be 3 different sequences here, nothing major. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go up here to object mode, and we're going to change it to pose mode. Now the bones here, they all have the lines, and you can see which ones are joins, and they're also different colors. I'm just going to click off that so that no bones are selected, because if you hit A, it will select all of them, and if you come off, it will select none, and then we can select individual bones and animate them different to the other ones. So what we need to do is animate something just so we can see what it's doing. So down here, I'm going to hit the auto keyframe, or auto keying as it's known in Blender. Hit that, it will highlight, and this will mean that it will automatically make your keyframes synced with the other ones around it, for what of a word. So within this one, I'm just going to go halfway. It may not be right, it may be right, and I'm just going to go and put his arm in front of him. So I'm just going to use rotation on the bones, and then like that, just to show that he's gone. There you go, just to show that he's moved his arm, and then he puts it back. Then the other one's there, but I'm going to try and get the other one up to that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to paste it in here, and then hopefully, no, it didn't work. See if we can get that again. Let's go Control A. Oh, sorry, A, I think it is. And then I'm going to select this again, Control C, over to here. I'm actually going to delete 14, and I'm going to paste. So you can see it sort of mucks up there. It all goes in and intertwines. It's all a bit horrible. So I'm going to actually undo that. And I want to bring my other one back that I had. And so he needs to go sort of somewhere. Here-ish. It would be so much easier if I just copy that over. You can see here he sort of just changes a little bit, but that doesn't matter. I don't really mind. So our first one, he's sort of waving it up, which isn't really a hit. So let's put it there, go to there. Let's even change this so he's holding it like that. So you go, you can see he's sort of slicing it in. I'm actually more tempted to go like this and then change all these points here. So it looks like he's bringing it in at an angle. I think that might be a bit better. Let's do this one as well. Like that. So you can see he's swinging it in. It's very static at the moment. It's just, and then he rotates it round. So I think that is like that, to be honest with you. So yeah, you can see here it's not brilliant, but it works. Then we can change some of his other features, like his head. We can rotate around here and try and get his neck. Now just bear in mind that there is, I believe, I've got to find the right one. If you get the wrong one, no, you do that. If you get the wrong one, I can't find it at the moment. There's quite a few bones in here. You'll get his inner head or his outer head. Now, I assume that's for the helmet and things like that. Same with the body. There's an inner and outer. You just need to make sure you get the main one. See, like this. So I'm just going to rotate his head to there, and then it will follow it round. But I want it a bit more faster than that. Yeah, you got that? So then let's play with this one here. Let's bring this down like that. And then he's going to bring that one up. It's just a bit more animated. Obviously you can spend a lot more time than I am doing on this. I'm only doing it just to show you briefly, and I'm going to bring this round like that. So we can see he brings it in and he brings it back, and then his legs all skew with here and everything like that. I can actually probably take that one, take that, and try and paste that in there. So he actually brings that leg up now, which is funny. So now we need to do the next one. So the next one's going to be a swipe away and then to there. So halfway through this, I'm just going to go and push this like that. Yeah. And then he brings it back again, which is quite funny. We can actually probably delete that and see what's going on. So he goes like that, and then like that, which isn't brilliant, but anyway, it is what it is. I'm not too worried. It's just to show you again. We could even do that. And let's try and get his head like that. Let's try and move the arm. You can see here that that's not brilliant. What I might do is I might actually, where's that one go? So that's the same. No, I'll just leave it. I was going to try and tie it in, but I'm not worried about it. We can play this and then see how it goes. So he's just stood there like a, I don't know what. So then, and then the next one is this one. His body's all rotated around. We're going to rotate. We've got to try and rotate everything here because he's all rotated. Let's have a look, see how that does. It's not too bad. And then his arm. So then what have we got here? We've just rotated his whole arm round. We can then move this forward, or we can try and do it properly by sort of rotating him. So he starts there, he goes like that. It's not brilliant, but that would do. What can we do with his right arm and his legs and things? And there's a whole host of things you could probably do if you really wanted to. And then on the end, I'm going to try and hit A. I'm going to copy the 0 and I'm going to put it to the 50. So let's have a look, see how mucked up that goes. So that is seriously mucked up. Oh, that's better, that's back to normal. Insert keyframes, let's hope that's taken everything there. Just going to copy this one, paste it. So then he swings round and then he magically goes back to where he was at the start. So therefore it should be like a looping now. Like I said, it's not brilliant, but it works just about. Let's rotate him. I don't like his legs. I don't like the whole animation. But anyway, let's rotate that now. We could move this a little bit. I mean, the best thing to do probably just having a look here like that. So he's more jabbing there. It's like he's throwing a punch, just a little bit, but not really too much. I mean, like I said, you can play with it a lot more than what I can. This is just a quick look. So anyway, that is our animation now. We can go back to object mode and we can go on the scene and hit A. Our animation here will still work even though there's no keyframes up. Doesn't really matter. Some people like to play. Some people. Oh, what is going on there? Some people like to play in dope sheet, timeline, whatever takes your fancy. I've just done it off of the back of the keying under the timeline. I mean, here's the dope sheet. Have a look at it, and you can see it's almost the same. Let's go back to object mode. I don't know why it's doing that. And then timeline. I'm going to take the auto keying off, and there is our animation. So now what we need to do is we need to save this. So We need to go File, we need to go Export, and we need to go Export as FBX. Now that folder that we made up earlier is under Desktop, Weapon Animation, and then Sword. Now we should name this exactly the same. I just copied it from the text document I had earlier. So here it is, Player Master Sword Combo. Now I've made a preset here for MCD. So use these settings. If you are scaling, then you don't change the scale, I believe. But I don't like to use the scaling at the start, so I scale it at the end. So anyway, I've got object types empty, armature, mesh, other. I've also got all 0.01, all local, -z forward, y up. Apply unit, apply space, don't apply transform. Under geometry, I've got apply modifiers, nothing else, and then normals only for smoothing. I think it's actually face, but I can't remember. I think it's face. No, it might be normals only. Leave it as normals only. Under armature, I've got y-axis, x-axis, and only deformed bones. Sorry, armature FBXN is on null. I've also taken add leaf bones off. And under bake animation, I believe this is all default. So the 4 are ticked and 1, 1. So we're going to export that now. That's been exported. We can see if that's been exported by going back into our weapon animation sword, and we've got player master sword combo here. So the next thing that we need to do is load up the Dungeons Modkit Master Unreal 4 project and then the Dungeons project. So double click on this. Now this can take a while to load, so just sit back, relax and let it load. It counts the percentage here. I've had it open already today, so it shouldn't take too long, but yours might take a little bit longer because nothing's in memory and things like that. Right, it's loaded up a little bit big. Let me just sort this out. So we go, here is the scene and everything. So the first things first, what we need to do is import the things that we've made. We've only made one thing, so we just need to import that, but we need to put it into the right folder. So what we need to do is make new folders. And the way that we can find the path is, this is handy for finding the path. So because we imported the character player master here, the SK player, we've got this here which we can use. So if we right click on the master here, because that takes me back, whichever one you click on, I believe. Oh, I did do just a minute ago, that one did, that's weird. So it takes you back, but not if you're on the master one. Anyway, so we need the master here. We can copy path directory. So in here where I've copied that, I can paste, and this is the folder contents or the directory structure that we need to make. So I'm just going to copy this word for word over into Unreal. The first one is content, which we've already got. So then it is actors. So this will become actors. Within actors, I'm going to make a new folder and call that characters. I'm just going to go characters. Within characters, I'm going to make another folder called player. And then player, I'm going to make one called master. And this is where we're going to drag and drop our FBX file into. So let me just go back to where it is. It's here. I just want that on top. So let me just drag that up there. Put this here. Right. So back to our weapon animation folder, we need to go to sword because this is where we exported it to. I'm going to drag this down into here and let go. So now we get the SVX import options. Now I believe everything is default bar the animated time. Just need to make sure the animated length is animated time. I believe everything else will sort itself out. If you've already got a skeleton in place, then you should select the skeleton you're rigging it to. If you haven't, just leave it blank and it should import one anyway. I believe this is all fine. If I go slowly, you'll be able to see the settings. Just in case yours are slightly different, you can set them up here. I don't know. Right, anyway, we're going to import all. When we've imported all, you can see all our files are here, and the man is, or should I say, the mesh is standing the right way up. If it's the wrong way, it means you've exported it with the wrong Y and thing in Blender. go back and have a look. It should be, as I said earlier, I can't remember now, y minus y up or something. Anyway, we don't need the mesh because we're not looking, so we don't need the material. So I'm deleting that. Player master saw combo here. We got the animation. We got the physics. We don't need the physics, so I'm deleting that. And then we got the skeleton. So we need all these. The let me think. Right, the skeleton lives in the master, I believe. We can confirm all this through F model. So we've got SK player master. So really we should rename that to suit. So we need to copy file name with that extension. Go back here, F2 on that. That one here, so player master sword combo is a mesh. So that would be the mesh. Right, that mesh has changed. Then we need to get the skeleton, which is here, player master skeleton. Copy without. So this is the skeleton. Then we've got the animation here, player sword combo Annie, which I think is actually the right name, but we know that this is one more up in animations. It's not in menu animations, it's just in animations. And then we've got to try and find it. So where's S and where's sword combo? So we can right click on that, copy that extension, yeah, without file extension, back to here, and we just F2 it, and there we go. So player master combo animation. So this animation actually doesn't live in this folder, it lives one up, or if you're doing a different item or weapon, it could live within the weapons folders. Please check that out with Fmodel before you start creating folders and copying this if you're doing a different weapon or item. So animations here, so we've got the animation there. We're going to drag this over and move. So that should be the file directory set up with all the files where it needs to be according to the same as Fmodel. So if we go into the player animation, we can actually double click it here. He says that is the animation, is it? Yeah. There you go, just taking a while, and then it's loaded up the animation, and you can see it's our stupid little animation that we've done that looks absolutely terrible, and it's there, it works. So then if you wanted to do things for the composite and stuff like that, I did say I wasn't going to touch on it. You'd do it in here, then you would reference this one here, then you could add your own custom sounds to it. But what we're doing is we're overwriting the main animation, and it's still going to link in the same way. It's still going to use the same distance for the animation per combo or per strike. Whereas if you made your own composite up, then you could actually control what happens, and you could add your own particles in and things like that. A bit more complicated and not really a basic. I mean, this is a bit much for a basic tutorial anyway. So the next thing that we need to do is we need to go back to the master folder and load up the skeleton. So if we double click on the skeleton, we can see here that it's showing the mesh that the skeleton's attached to, and we've also got all the bones here. Now this is where it gets a little bit tedious and a little bit annoying, because we need to reference all the sockets. If you don't reference the sockets, sometimes things muck up and go awry. So we need to reference the sockets. It's probably best to do so. I have actually got some files that you would be able to put into yours. Your Unreal Editor project if you wanted to. I'll put a link in the description, or you can go through and try and do these yourself. Bear in mind that my files may change over time, or the game may change over time and they become obsolete. But anyway, what I'll do is I'll show you how to do it. So what we need to do is we need to load up Fmodel again. We're just going to put this to the side somewhere. It's a bit annoying because we need everything. I need a bigger screen. Right, so anyway, we're going to go to folders. We're going to go to master. So this is within actors, characters, player, master. Within here we've got the skeleton, and this is what we've loaded up here. We've loaded up the skeleton. So we're going to double click on this. I'm just going to try and bring this over. So the skeleton has a thing called sockets on now. This holds everything together. You can see here that there's a socket, there's a socket, there's a socket. There's quite a few sockets that we've got to actually add and go through and do. Now the easiest way to do this is just go through them one by one and try not to muck any of the coordinates up that we need to put in. So the first one that we need to put in is a JR weapon socket. Now this belongs to the bone name of JR weapon. Now all these here are bones. We need to find the JR weapon. So it does mean that you've got to go up and have a look and go through. And when you're tired, it's probably not the best thing to do, but we'll get there. So JR weapon is here. You can see on here highlights where it actually is. So it actually exists. We need to right click, go add socket, and then it's come up here JR weapon socket, but that's probably not the name we want to give it, so we're going to paste what we've copied, and it actually has an underscore, so it was slightly different, so it was a good job we did that. So do that for every single one and you'll be alright. So now we've gone back to F model. Under JR weapon socket, which we've just put in here, we need to add the relative location or relative rotation. So we can see here it's got X, Y, Z values, and we need to copy these and put them in. This one's 0, 0, so we're not going to bother putting that one in because that's what it defaults to anyway. So when you've got your socket selected, it shows in the screen here, and then on the right hand side it has the parameters. We've got relative location here, so we just need to we need to copy from F model and paste them into here. So we're just going to do that. Oh, I just went down a bit. So this one's -6, so we're just going to put that as -6. I don't believe there's any relative rotation on it, so we can skip to the next socket. So the next one is going to be the J head socket, bone name J head. So surely that should be at the top, but it's not. You've got the hip first. So J head is here, and then we're going to go add socket, double click, add a J head socket there. Check to see if there's any locations or rotations. For this one there isn't anything, so we can skip to the next one. So this one's a J back trident socket attached to J shoulders. So we're going to go find a J shoulders, which are there. We're going to go add socket, and it puts it all the way down the bottom. Double click it and paste, and there's our J back trident socket. Now we've got a copy over the locations and rotations. So these ones are here. They're not too bad. Just takes a little bit of time, especially when you click on the slider. It's a bit annoying. So let me just bring this up. Right, and then there, and then here. You can see it's slightly moving, which is all good. Now we've got the rotations. Now, for some reason, sometimes it comes up like this with the E in. So we can't actually put the E into Unreal Editor, so we need to get the closest one to. I mean, we don't have e to the power of -6, power minus, yeah, -0.6. We're going to copy up to the e. As long as it's close, it's not too bad. So relative rotations here, we're going to paste that into there, and then we're going to go back and we're going to take the next one down here. I'm going to put this one into here, and then the same for this one. This one has an e, so we copy up to the 8, and then we paste it. Now the scale should always be default at 1. We shouldn't have to play with the scale, so everything should be fine. So now we just got to move on and do the rest. So I will go off and do this to save time, and I'll be back in a minute. So I've reached the bottom down here now. I've reached it because I know that there's no more sockets. The last socket here was the J status socket, and here we go. This is the ones that aren't sockets, they're all other stuff. So as soon as you reach this, you know that you've done your job and you don't have to do any more sockets, thankfully. So all our sockets are on here now. You can see there's a J status socket and things. They're all on here. It takes a bit of time, but it's something that you need to do, unfortunately, and it's just a pain in the ass. Right, so anyway, they're done. Make sure you save that, and then we can close that. So we've got here under Player Master, we've got these two, which is the skeleton and the SK Player Master. Within Master is animations, and in the animation we have our animation named Player Master Saw Combo, the animation that we made up, which looks amazing. So that is pretty much it now for Unreal. We don't really need it anymore. F model, we don't really need anymore. So we can load up our weapon animation folder. We can go to Dungeons Mod Kit Master and we can cook the assets. Now before I do this, make sure, well, a little tip is if you go edit on it, it'll bring it up in Notepad. Put pause at the bottom of it. That way, when it's done, you will have to press a key, and you can also scroll through and see if there was any errors. So we're going to run that now. Double click on it. It takes a while sometimes it doesn't. It depends how often you use it, depending on what's in memory or what what it can process quicker, and what you got running in the background. So you can see here it's done it. It says press any key to continue, so that's done. Or it will auto close, and that means it's done it as well. Now I'm just going back up quickly just to see if there's any thingy. Warning cannot load. That's the material it's looking for that we told it not to include, which is absolutely fine. I think it looks all right. There's some fonts and stuff. I won't worry about that. So yeah, it all looks fine. I'm going to press space and done. So before you package it up, make sure that in Tools, User Settings, Package Output is set to something that you want. Now, I was playing with a hammer earlier, but this is known as the sword. So I'm going to call it Sword Animation. So just name this something you want. Make sure it is in your mods folder, and then you're good to go. Just don't forget the pack on the end as well. Close that, and then we can go back to here. I want to hit package. Now this takes 2 seconds. Sometimes it takes longer. You can see here I've actually got the pause in it as well, because sometimes if dungeon is running it will come up with error 13 I believe, but once it's done it will say compressing 100%, which means it's done. So we can close that. If it says error 13, close the game down, come back here, press the button and then run package again. So now it is the moment of truth. Now I've got a feeling that the skeleton may muck up. If it does, I would just remove it. We don't need it, but what we're going to do is we're going to run the game and see if our animation is there. So here we are in the game. You can see the game's loaded up. I've already got a sword, thankfully. What I'm going to do is see if it works. Now sometimes it's really hard to tell. To me, I think that has worked. Just for the right arm's sake is moving, and then the legs. Also, the sword is also going horizontal as well. If we load up our animation, which is here, we can see that we've got a swing here, which I believe is that one there. Did you see it? And oh, not that. I don't want that. I want that. And then this one here goes back with the arm swinging out, back with the arm swinging out. So we go load up this, back with the arm swinging out, and then we've got the jab, which is sort of he's going forward with his head slightly to the left. So let's have a look at the jab. So we've got the jab and his head slightly to the left, is it? Yeah, slightly to the left, and he's there. So and then the arm's all the way back. So we can focus on the arm all the way back just to see if it's working. I really should have done something that wasn't quite close. Yeah, so you can see the arm going all the way back. Yeah. What I'll do is I'll do this for a little bit and then I'll tie it in with the other one as well. Which is good, and it all works. It's all good. The only thing I'm not 100% sure on is the last combo. We can load up F model and have a look just to make sure it is that one. So what we'll do is we will do that. So I've just loaded up the F model, and you can see that asset 3 actually uses the equipment melee weapon sword steel animation player master combo, but 1 and 2 seem to use the player master. So it's inconsistency within the game, and you would actually have to go off and edit this one as well to be able to edit the whole sequence of it. It's a bit of a pain, but it just is how Dungeon is, and we need to make sure this before the start so we know what we're actually editing. Otherwise we get to a position where we're at now. But as we've seen, the sword actually does animate. It does change 1 and 2, but 3 is, like I thought, it is slightly different from our animation here. But 1 and 2 is fine. So what I thought quickly is a way to do this where our animation is wrong, but in the wrong place, in the right place sort of thing, where we need to actually get it to here. So we're going to make up these folders in Unreal Editor. So let me copy that into a notepad because it's a lot easier for me to grasp and get on with, copy and paste and all that. So I'm going to go back into where we're sitting here in Unreal Editor, and we actually need to make the equipment up. So at the moment we've just got actors here, and then we're going to go new folder as we did before and go through and put all the ones leading up to where the other animation would be quickly. New folder, melee weapons, new folder, still sword. And then within that, we're going to put animations. So we have this here, which corresponds to this here, where it's going to instead of which this one goes to. And we're literally just going to copy over the animation sequence. So within, God, that's wrong. Within animations here, we have got the master combo, and then here we're going to copy it over. So we're going to drag it down, we're going to paste it in this folder, or drag it and let go, and then we're going to go copy. So this one's here. We're then just going to check the name just to make sure it's correct. So we've got this here, which is player master sword combo. We've copied that, minimize that, F2 on that, and then paste. It's exactly the same. It's going to I press Control S then. I'm just going to save all. Hopefully it will save. Save selected and little stars go on it. So now what we've done is we've copied over our combo and it should all work. So what we need to do is need to pack it up now, which we can get here. It's just easier. And then we can go and cook. So again, what we've done is we've duplicated that animation and it should work in game, where before we were only using one of the animations instead of two. It's just how whoever's made up the sword animation within Dungeons has used two animations of the same thing in two different locations. Alright, that's done because I have to press continue. Now we're just going to check to make sure it is in here, he says, and it's not even going into there. Actors, equipment, melee weapons, sword steel, animations, and then we've got the combo in here. Now, one thing I forgot to say earlier was that if you're getting weird things happening, we can actually delete these here. We don't actually need them, it's just so the animation has referenced them and knows what's going on, I believe, but we can actually delete them and not worry about them. So I'm going back to Dungeons Mod Kit Master. I am then going to go and package this up. We can see that this one shouldn't take too long. There you go. It says 100% done. We're going to close this and open Dungeons. So here we go. We've loaded up Dungeons again, and we can go and see what the animation does this time. So we can see our animation has completely changed. The third one is now working, and it all looks good. Now, I'll put this up on a 2x2 now, and you can see the difference between the two. R1 isn't as good, and it is only a quick little tutorial just to show you how you can modify the animations per weapon. So bear in mind the F model is probably a necessity for this, and that you should go through and look at it in some extent just to make sure that you're getting all the things in the right places. So anyway, that is it for this video. Hopefully this has helped you modify your weapon animation. Other animations are similar. Just have a look through F model and see what they need to animate with. Anyway, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe if you want to see more Minecraft Dungeons videos, especially on the modding side.